And we are live for the fourth day in a row. We've been doing it every weekday around 4 p.m. That's not that bad. How are you guys doing? Everybody good? Did you walk and get coffee today? What did you do today? What was your day like? Was it productive? Did you look at Twitter and pull video clips? Because that's what I did. Big news today. So I led with what I told you guys yesterday, which is that the odds of Trump winning the odds are going up for Trump winning the election. He leads in both betting markets now. So I was going to show you guys that. And then somebody on Twitter was speculating that for a move like that, when there's no obvious news, somebody must have behind the scenes information. So it's up to you to now speculate on what behind the scenes non-public information there might be, which could make over $1 billion betting market move so much. Within a matter of hours, originally, when his odds first started to surge, and now over a matter of days, his odds have gone up quite a bit. It was anybody's race, and now he's up by 10 points. So that's what's going on with Trump in the betting odds. And then the polling really hasn't changed that much. Really hasn't. So I have that news. The hurricane was a dud, basically. I hate to say that, though, but because it's really good news. It seems like the storm, what good are weather people anyway? I guess that's why a lot of people wait out hurricanes. They're just rolling the dice, basically, that the weatherman was wrong. They said there would be a huge storm surge, but it doesn't seem like there was a storm surge at all. In fact, that guy that stayed on his boat is still alive, although the guy that stayed on his boat is apparently some kind of a sexual offender. So he was going to get some kind of special deal. He was going viral all over TikTok, sitting in his boat, camping out the storm of the century. They called it the storm of the century. They said it was like the biggest storm ever. It was going to do such catastrophic damage. Doesn't seem like it did that much damage. A few people, and the only deaths were from tornadoes, from what I heard on the news. Yeah, well said. I knew it. They said everyone would die. Fear manipulation. Yeah, some people stayed behind. They were fine. And then just DeSantis is pretty good at it. He's pretty used to this hurricane response by now. So he does a pretty good job. People get saved, whatever. They're on the second floor. So there was some flooding, but it seems like it was just from the rain. Even the places that it hit really hard, I didn't see like catastrophic damage. So, I mean, praise God. That's like a really good thing. It gives me less news to report on, less doom, but it's good news. People didn't die. Well, some people died. They said like 7 people from tornadoes. Apparently, there were a bunch of tornadoes. I don't know if it was 100, but maybe 50. So apparently there are a bunch of tornadoes ahead of that storm. Tornadoes can be dangerous from what I understand. We don't get them out here, not on this West Coast place. So I have that news. I have what do I have for videos? I can tell you. I have Vivek fire up the cloud. Are you guys Trump voters? Yeah, you got to be mostly, right? Mostly Trump voters, but some people who won't vote. The election is pretty close, is why I ask. And now it seems like Trump's chances to win are going up, if you believe the betting odds. Although betting odds, it's just odds, and they can change rapidly. No October surprise so far. Last year we had oh no, it wasn't last year, for God's sake. It was 4 years ago. My God, time is such a messed up thing. the story came out in the October surprise was Hunter's laptop, but then that got buried by the news, or well, actually not just the news, also the social medias. Ian Wells says, I'm not voting. That's the truly principled stance. That's the truly principled thing to do. That is the truth. I got my ballot. I could easily break the law by having Katie fill out the ballot or by having you guys doing a poll. I could do a poll for each of the things, and we could fill out my ballot live on the air. But I think that might be, I don't know, actually. Some kinds of voting are illegal. Like, you're not supposed to let somebody else fill out your ballot, I don't think. But I got it in the mail, and I could return it various ways, including by leaving it in the mailbox for the postman. So, all right. Make sure to check out our sale, Truth Revolution Clothing. Many times. We're selling out of a lot of stuff, though. As far as that sale goes, I have like boxes and boxes. See all these boxes here? Those all used to have shirts in them. You can see them in the background. Those all used to have shirts in them. They were full all the way to the top. And now they're all empty. I could show you guys around the room if you wanted a tour. I could show you around the room. The shirts are going down. We're making space. So check out our sale. We're selling out of lots of sizes, so don't dilly-dally. Go to truthclothing.io and just check that thing out. I'll do a full ad for it later, probably. All right. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news. Yes, that's correct. The real news. That's what you came for. I don't know if, for some reason, Poly Market isn't loading in Google Chrome. But I can load it here. Let's see. There we go. There's the Poly Market odds, live odds right now. So similar to my screenshot. He's ahead by 11%, approximately 11.5%. So it was dead even. It was like 49 to 49. Yeah, Will says, remember when Doshi jumped on Nate's back? That was a long time ago, yeah, Will. You are an OG. You are truly an OG. You've been around for all of it. How's it going? How's the journey for you? I know how it's been for me. How's it been for you? So here's the odds. 55.5 to 44. And apparently it's over $1 billion market. I have to see. Did I ever sign up for Polymarket? I wonder. I heard that you're not allowed to do it in the United States. Oh, but you can just sign in with a wallet. Oh, okay. Well, shame it doesn't load on Chrome because I could connect it to one of my wallets. It says it'll connect. Yeah, you just connect it directly to your cryptocurrency wallet. For some reason, though, I wonder how to fix that. It's like it's being blocked or something. Like, what is going on? Site settings. Or I'm going to delete the, I'm going to reset permissions, or I'm going to reset permissions. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. And then it has 11 cookies, it says. So I'm going to try it one more time. Then I could just connect my wallet to it. Then does it care if I'm in America or not? That's what I have to find out. I connect it to my MetaMask or my Phantom wallet. You gamble with cryptocurrency on there. Can't load it in Google Chrome. Don't know why. Don't know why. Delete data. But he is doing better in the odds. And then on Predict It, which is the US market I know about, where you can bet real money, Donald Trump leads 53-50 only, though, in that market. So not nearly as much. But there's got to be some kind of arbitrage opportunity there. All right. So that's the news on the betting odds. Yeah, some people say it's because, well, apparently there's one guy who has 11 million shares and he had 7 million, a guy named Freddie 9999. So they're blaming this one trader who bought apparently like 4 million shares, which would be, I think, $2 million or so. That's what this article says. I'll share it with you. And I'll show you some of the hurricane damage. I was going to start you off with a little. So this is Polymarket mystery trader boosts Trump's election chances by 13%. So people are speculating, and this is something you chew on, is that there's some kind of non-public information that they believe is going to change things in Trump's favor. Because as of right now, the odds just show that it's very close. It shows Trump with an advantage, but it's very close. Within the margin of error. All right. So, yeah, let me give you a little thing. I'll give you this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Vivek, please welcome to the stage Vivek Ramaswamy. Let me tell you, we're not running against Kamala Harris. We're not running against Joe Biden. We are running against a machine, and we need a commander-in-chief who will finally get in there and dismantle that machine. And that commander-in-chief is your next president, the 47th president of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump. If you want to seal the border, vote Trump. If you want to grow the economy, vote Trump. If you want to stay out of World War III, vote Trump. If you want to revive national pride in this country, vote Trump. If you want to make America great again, vote Trump. It is a 1776 moment in this country, my friends. We need our George Washington to cross the Delaware. When George Washington did it, they shot bullets at him back then too. Donald Trump is the George Washington of our moment. And it's going to require...
It looks frozen on my end. This is my computer's crashing again. Clever.
Every one of us to win the revolution this year at home. We are a nation in decline, but we don't have to be. Decline is a choice. We don't have to be at the end of ancient Rome. We don't have to be this nation in decline. We can still be a nation in our ascent. A nation whose best days, not in some fake politician way, but in a true way, a nation whose best days are still yet ahead of us. So we will look our kids in the eye and mean it when we tell them that no matter who you are or where your parents came from or what your skin color is, that you get ahead in the United States of America with your own hard work, your own commitment, your own dedication, and that you know what, you are free to speak your mind at every step of the way. That is the American dream. That is what we are running to. And that is what Donald Trump will revive as your next president. Thank you, Pennsylvania. God bless you and your families. And may God bless our United States of America.
There's a Trumpian rally cry. So he does have that going for him. He's got like Vivek. He's got people who could also be president one day, a number of them, with Vivek, Tulsi, and RFK Jr., and then Vance too, who people like. Everybody's imperfect. Vivek is a little out there in general, but the new generation is getting behind Trump. The new generation being Tulsi. Well, RFK Jr. is kind of old to be new generation, but he can still do pull-ups, which I can't do. I was going to show you the map. I'll show you the map based on Polymarket of this election. Right now it has Trump at 296 and Democrats at 242. It has Trump winning Pennsylvania, Michigan. Yeah, Michigan is recently kind of flipped. Wisconsin is a toss-up. Nevada is a toss-up. But it has Trump winning pretty much, most of the swing states, or leaning most of the swing states. So 296 for Trump right now, and you need 270 to win. Yeah, very unlikely to tie. Okay, so that's those odds. And then there's 538 odds too. 538 presidential prediction. And this shows, who is favored to win. This one says Harris wins 55 times out of 100. 538 says that. So it's pretty close. Trump wins 45 times out of 100. There's less than a 1 in 100 chance of no electoral college winner. They run a simulation 1,000 times and they see what happens. Then they print this distribution. So it's close. I do think it's close. I do think it's a close race. You guys want to see somebody flying a Trump flag in the middle of a hurricane? I can show you that.
It's probably at least 80 mile an hour winds right now.
We're walking out with a Trump flag.
Look at him.
Okay, this guy's got a Trump flag.
It says President
on
Trump.
In the Pier of Naples 38 minutes ago.
President Trump.
This guy's putting a flag up in the middle of a hurricane on ABC News. They must hate that. The fake news must just hate this. It's going to be up in the fake news. There's nothing they can do. Fake news. Awesome. This guy's awesome.
So there you go. Guy flew his Trump flag right in the middle of the hurricane. Hey, the people that stuck around, they were right to stick around. Here's like a flyover of Sarasota, which is around where it hit. So I haven't even really looked at this, but it's a little look at the damage. There's some flooding right there on the shore, though. Yeah, it looks like if you were in an upper story, you probably made out okay. See, some of those places look all right, actually. Not even all of them are flooded, and that's like right on the beach. A lot of expensive homes there. Either there's no flooding at all. So, oh yeah, I see some flooding on the other side. Maybe nothing that would do anything to the structure of the homes. You see it okay? I could zoom in. I guess I can't zoom in. Oops. And there's damage to the airport, I guess. Just a little flooded. This is called Cletus flies over Siesta Key. All right, I think you saw it. Not much damage. I have Governor DeSantis going after Kamala. Oh, I have the guy, Lieutenant Dan, the guy with the boat, the guy that I said was probably going to be dead. I was wrong. Maybe I'm a fear merchant. I was saying it was going to be a big storm just because I heard that on the radio, just because I heard that on the news, on the TV. They're like, oh, it's going to be a big storm. And I just said, oh, it's going to be a big storm. Nope. Should have just said, oh, no, they're always overrated. Here's this guy. I guess he's alive. There were some live streamers who were wiped out.
Lieutenant
or
Dan!
TikTokers or something.
Lieutenant Dan!
They called him Lieutenant Dan. I don't remember that character. I believe it's from Forrest Gump.
Lieutenant Dan! Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you sure? I think you made it through the worst of it. Yeah. The water's all receded here.
Oh yeah, the water all left. It ended up not just not storm surging, but it all like got swept out to sea.
Okay, well we're gonna stay up here, so all right. Okay.
There you go. That's the TikTokers or whatever that are following him around. But then people said he's a career criminal pervert. And they have all these mugshots of him. Joseph Malinowski. So, and then I saw some people saying, no, that's not true. But there are a lot of mugshots. He looks basically the same in all of them. More mugshots. So that's the guy. I guess he is a criminal. I don't know the rest. I didn't need to look into it. I have Ron DeSantis apparently obliterating Kamala. Haven't even watched it. Let's see what it says.
She has no role in this process. And I've been dealing with these storms in Florida under both Trump and Biden. Neither of them ever politicized it. And in fact, all the storms I've dealt with under this administration, although I've worked well with the president, she has never called in Florida. She has never offered any support. So what she's doing is she's trying to inject herself into this because of her political campaign. So as the governor here who's leading this, I don't have time for those games. I don't care about her campaign. Obviously, I'm not a supporter of hers, but she has no role in this process. And so I'm working with the people I need to be working with. We're leveraging the resources I need to be leveraging. And for her to try to say that my focus should be on catering to her rather than worrying about my own people just shows she doesn't understand what it means to respond to these natural disasters. She has no role in this process.
I think I played that yesterday. I think I played it yesterday. She tried to make it political, which was really dumb, I think. You know, when you're doing disaster relief, particularly against DeSantis, who does a good job and lines up like thousands and thousands of, I guess they call them linemen, the guys that fix the power when the power goes out. So anyway, fortunately, no one's going to remember Milton. Helene, yeah, it's dropped out of Helene has dropped out of the news. I hope people are doing okay in the mountains there in West North Carolina. I hope that situation is working itself out. They were saying thousands of people were missing. So I hope they've found those missing people alive in many cases. In most cases, I hope. But I didn't see any news about Helene today, except for people saying that it was disinformation. They're so pissed off about it. I mean, it's like if you say something we don't like, we're going to call it misinformation, and then we're going to get really mad about it. And in fact, Kamala wants to censor X. I have that clip. Here. Kamala does want to censor X, but they're not going to be able to do that. But I hear lots of negative news now about Elon and X and stuff like that. And these Democrats, they just say it needs to be banned somehow. Like, in fact, with Donald Trump, they said Donald Trump said all these lies about, I don't even know if they played clips of him saying the things they claimed he said.
And will put the Department of Justice of the United States back in the business of justice. We will double the Civil Rights Division and direct law enforcement to counter this extremism. We will hold social media platforms accountable for the hate infiltrating their platforms, because they have a responsibility to help fight against this threat to our democracy. And if you profit off of hate, if you act as a megaphone for misinformation or cyber warfare, if you don't police your platforms, we are going to hold you accountable as a community. And we'll put
How are they going to do
the
that?
Department of Justice of the United
How are they going to do that exactly? They're talking about repealing Section 230. Isn't that what the Republicans were talking about doing? For a totally different. Yeah, because they were mad. Yeah, that's right. They were thinking of doing that because they were mad about the censorship and the editorial, basically, nature of the platforms. That they were threatening to get rid of Section 230. The Republicans were. Now I think it's the Democrats who are thinking about it. Which would basically make them not they wouldn't be able to allow anything then if they got rid of Section 230. They can't do that. The internet would be broken. As far as social media goes, as far as like any platform that hosts stuff. It's funny they say, there's this bill now, or there's a lawsuit against, I think it's all the social media companies, but either TikTok or Instagram or both, saying that they're addictive and that they're designed to be addictive. Yeah, but I was thinking about it, and yes, the algorithm wants to show you things that you will then engage with, but somebody makes the content. Like I was thinking about, I was like, is it the algorithm that's addictive, or is it the content? Like the algorithm's nothing without content, and the algorithm doesn't make the content yet. Yeah. Maybe soon it will with AI. But as of right now, the algorithm just shows you something it thinks you want to see, and that's addictive. Because you keep getting hit with dance video after dance video, and you're just like, oh, this is amazing. Wow, my endorphins are going through the roof. Oh, I'm getting a rush. But then people get depressed and they kill themselves. It is weird having experienced a whole lifetime and in advent of, this whole social media thing where everybody gets their news and stuff now. Kids get their news on TikTok, and it might not be worse than watching the regular news. But somebody makes the content is all I'm saying. somebody has to make the content. And without that, the algorithms are nothing. And so that's people making addictive content, right? They're the ones making the addictive dance videos. So why don't you sue them, sue the content creators? But those things are pretty sick. Make sure to check out our sale. I'll do an ad right now. Thanks for tuning into the show. We've been live for about 30 minutes. Would you guys like it? Is it annoying on YouTube? You can't. See, I forget that most people don't have YouTube Premium. Go to truthclothing.io. That's our website. And then go to sale. And you'll find all this stuff on sale, which is rapidly selling out. So if you've been waiting, like these hoodies, these propaganda hoodies, they're gone pretty much. I mean, your size is probably sold out. They were $15. It was kind of crazy. But it's doing its intention. We are having a clearance sale, and we put everything on at prices that you don't see, especially with this inflation and stuff. Bitcoin Save sweatshirt, $15. You buy Bitcoin stuff. Bitcoin Save shirts, $10. Then there's other Bitcoin shirts that are $5. Make sure to check it out. Truthclothing.io. And then all our question everything stuff is also on sale. And that's cleared out like half the room so far. That's over here. The question everything's over here. Crypto's right here. The few remaining propaganda hoodies are there. I should have taken more clothes because I'm going to be upset when this stuff's all gone. I won't be able to wear it. I won't have any, or I'll have worn mine out. Fortunately, they're really good quality, so they last a long time. I haven't had a single shirt that like wore out on me yet. I've worn them a lot. I'll wear the same shirt over and over again. So anyway, check it out. Truthclothing.io. That's our website. There's all the question everything stuff. It was pretty awesome business. We're thinking about making a new shirt. Katie was talking about it. We might make a new shirt and sell it at full price since we've been getting some business and since we're back to doing the daily. All right. People talked about Trump saying he has good genetics again. People are saying like white people are excited about that because you saw, this is big news. Well, anyway, I could show you. I was already talking about it, going through all my various clips. There are lots of clips of Donald Trump saying he has good genetics. Here's one of them.
You know, my uncle, Dr. John Trump, was
country doctor.
Yeah, Dr. John Trump. Well, he was a nuclear doctor, actually. He was at MIT. He's the longest serving professor at MIT. He passed away, great guy. He was a brilliant guy, a brilliant scientist. And he used to tell me, he said, a long time ago, he'd say, Donald, someday it's very dangerous. Somebody will be able to carry a small briefcase into a building in New York and blow up the entire city.
Oh, wow.
I said, you gotta be kidding me, Uncle John. That will never happen. He was like a really brilliant guy. He was there for, I think, 41 years. He's the longest serving professor in the history of MIT.
Oh, wow.
So when I understand physics and when I understand things well, they say, how come there's good genetics? You know, I'm a believer. Are you guys believers in it? Were your parents funny? Were they comedians?
Yeah, my mom's side was is Scottish. And,
Fellow Scottish, yeah.
Oh,
Scottish women tend to be
you know,
pretty-
my mom.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about that, yeah.
And she was great.
Which is that where you get?
There you go. Good genetics. This post from Autism Capital said that right-wing internet and rapture. I think that's just because the white race stuff, because the IQ stuff. That was why I was a little worried when Trump was calling Harris low IQ. I thought people would say, oh, that's racist, because people say Haitians are low IQ, for example. I'd have to see all those studies and stuff. And then what is IQ measuring and so forth? Because there are different areas where different races excel at different things. It's not everything is IQ related. But anyway, I think people like that because he's talking about genetics. That's why he says the right-wing internet is in rapture. All right, so Trump lost that case in New York, And I guess it's that case that's getting thrown out. I guess that case in New York is getting thrown out based on the way these judges have been talking. It's in front of an appellate court right now. And this guy has a full description of how it happened. Anyway, I was asking you guys if I should broadcast on Rumble too. You can close the phone. That's what you can't do with YouTube, right? If you don't have YouTube Premium. I pay for YouTube Premium, but it's expensive, I guess. But it's worth it to me to be able to lock my phone and just listen, because that's what I mostly do, is just listen to stuff. So I was feeling for you guys on YouTube that you have to leave the phone open for the full length of the program. And I haven't been posting my podcast either, just because I'm lazy, pretty much just because I'm lazy. Yeah, I haven't been on Rockfin either. And maybe I should be on Rockfin. So I'll have to think about that. I'll have to think about setting up Rockfin for next time. Dope Soap says you like YouTube. That's good. Yeah, I figured you guys. YouTube is the best platform. It is like really nice. And if you want to give a super chat, you can give a super chat. It's all hooked up to that. And I still take Buy Me a Coffees. In fact, I got 3 Buy Me a Coffees from somebody. So I'll just check those right now. So people can. Oh, it's loading. So it's loading. Somebody bought me a coffee yesterday, or 3 coffees, actually. That's at buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Easy. Gina brought me 3 coffees. She said that car place may have paid better, but didn't appreciate you like we do. Glad to have your show back, Nathan. My favorite news source for years. Thanks, Gina. 3 coffees is great. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's good. Yeah, if you want to drop a coffee there after the show's over, for example, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. You can do that anytime. The super chats is only while the show is going, and they do take 30%, I believe. So, which Buy Me a Coffee doesn't. So check it out if you want to support the show. We appreciate it. I don't know if it's not going to ever be sustainable. I'm going to have to get another job, but for now, we're back to this. We're back. For now, we're back, and we're enjoying it. All right.
So the Trump fraud case went before.
This is about the Trump fraud case that he got. Is he supposed to pay like $500 million or something? Wasn't it 500 million? So it looks like that's going to be totally thrown out. So he won't. That means he'll no longer be a convicted felon. They can't even use that against him anymore.
So the Trump fraud case went before the appellate court this week. And by the time it was over, the closing arguments of the Democrat lawyers was just them begging to not get sanctioned. So look, many people aren't aware that the Trump fraud case went before the appeals court this week. And if you don't know how an appeals court works, there are 5 judges that sit in judgment for these cases. And they basically let the prosecution and the defense both lay out their cases. And their job is to consider whether or not the case was worth hearing in the first place. And it went so badly for the Democrat lawyers that by the end of it, their closing arguments was just them begging to not get sanctioned. So they argued a ton of different things throughout this case. But the biggest thing was the judges kept interrupting them. They kept saying, hold on. Can you find me one other time in history where the person who took the loan was able to call the bank that they took the loan from, and then that bank showed up and said, we weren't defrauded? And the lawyers spent like 2 hours trying to find one little instance where it happened. But then the judges said, okay, let's try something else. They said, hey, have you ever prosecuted someone for lying about the value of a property when it resulted in the entire loan being paid back with interest? And again, they gave them like 2 hours to try to explain their case, and they still couldn't produce a single case where that had happened. And then the judges said, hey, you know what? We'll give you another shot. They said, have you ever seen an attorney general prosecute a case where there was no damage to the public, there was no damage to the person you said was defrauded, and there was no actual malice committed by the person who took the loan. And then they took another like 6 hours on that one. And by the end of it, the judges were like, so you don't have any instance of that happening. And then by the time they were done, the judges were like, I don't even know if this is a case that should have been brought. And they said, look, y'all might need to be sanctioned for bringing this case in a malicious manner. One of the judges actually said, I have come to believe that since a case like this has never been brought in the history of the country, not only New York, that you have only brought this case because the person was running for president, which would put you afoul of not only multiple regulations regarding the law, but would also run you afoul of electioneering interference. In fact, at the end of it, when they got to give their closing arguments, instead of arguing the value of their case, instead of arguing that like we should have been able to bring this case because of X and Y and all this shit, they actually just said at the end, we hope that the court will take into account that lawyers need to be able to bring cases like this without the threat of sanction. Basically, they were saying, we hope that you decide that we're not going to get in trouble for bringing this bullshit case. That was what happened at the appellate court. So Trump being found guilty of fraud and having to pay 500 some odd million fucking dollars and the whole left celebrating about that, he's going to get all that money back because the appellate court was like, this is a bullshit case. The people he took the loan from literally came to court on his behalf and said, hey, we weren't defrauded. We knew he overvalued Mar-a-Lago. We took that into our calculations. And even if we had taken that into our calculations, and the value of Mar-a-Lago was part of 0.14. Like the president of Deutsche Bank said, you know why we gave him the loan? It had nothing to do with the value of Mar-a-Lago. It had to do with we given him 21 other loans, and he has paid back all 21 with interest. We were giving him the loan regardless of the value of anything. And that's where the appellate court was like, how do you have a case? Deutsche Bank literally said we were giving him the loan regardless. And that's when they started begging to not get sanctioned. So yeah, that's what happened with the Trump fraud case this week. Going really well for the Democrats.
There you go. So that's the story. Elon posted that video. It is a good summary, though. And there's actually some video from the court, so I have that. I have video of them asking this stuff. See if you can hear it okay. I have that right here. Oops, sound is gone. So this is where they actually ask that stuff, but I have to reset it. Oh, YouTube Shorts moved to 3 minutes, Station 33. That's news to me. I knew it used to be 1 minute, and you couldn't even make it. It was weird. It was like 15 seconds or 1 minute. And those are your only two choices. You couldn't do like 45 seconds, for example, while I was messing around with YouTube Shorts. Well, I could cut out parts of my show and make them shorts. That's what I was able to do. They let you go back and edit it. Yeah. If I did something clever, I would do that. If you ever see me say anything, I'd make a good YouTube short. But I'm on the side of the screen. It's like up and down. I don't know how people make TikTok videos. I don't know how they put themselves in front of a big screen and stuff, point at things. Like they're like standing in front of a giant computer screen. I don't know how they do that. I'd probably learn.
May it please the court, Judith Vale for the New York Attorney General's office. All of the defendants repeatedly violated.
Ms. Vale, can you identify any previous case in which the Attorney General sued under Executive Law 6312 to upset a private business transaction that was between equally sophisticated partners where the supposed victim had the ability and legal obligation to discover the allegedly misrepresented matters by conducting its own due diligence, where the supposed wrongdoer advised the supposed victim through written disclaimers to conduct its own due diligence and to draw its own conclusions, where the alleged misrepresentation almost entirely...
I mean, that's something. You hear that? So he put what the judge is saying is that apparently Trump, in his own application for the loan, said, you shouldn't trust me. You should do your own research. That's what the judge is saying. He's saying that the supposed perpetrator told the supposed victim to do due diligence with their application. So, and obviously they did. People overvalue things all the time. So it's great this case is going to get thrown out. That's what people are saying that it's going to, based on the questions that were asked to the attorneys today, which that guy explained.
Valuations of properties and businesses.
Yes.
Diligence, where the supposed wrongdoer advised the supposed victim through written disclaimers to conduct its own due diligence and to draw its own conclusions, where the alleged misrepresentation almost entirely concerned inherently subjective valuations of properties and businesses.
Yes.
And where the victim never complained about any fraud in the transactional losses from it. Because I've gone through the cases which you've cited, and all of them always involved the consumer protection aspect. It involved protection of the market.
Oh, several responses.
And I want to add to his question, and little to no impact on the public marketplace.
Well, maybe I'll take that first.
There you go. And the other judge chimed in and said no impact on. I'd like to have more of that, more highlights of that. I wonder if I could find some. Let's see. Let's see. Trump appeals fraud conviction. So he's been appealing it. He's in front of the appeals court now. I'm seeing if there's any like clips of it. Let's see this on Fox Business News. This is from 10 days ago, though. Let's see.
New York civil fraud conviction. Justices in a New York appeals court appear skeptical of the conviction and that huge $480 million penalty. They say nobody claimed to be harmed. Former acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker joins us now. Matthew, tell me about what the appeals court justices were saying, because it sounds like this case is just falling to pieces.
Yeah, Stuart, and we talked about some of these issues previously when this case was decided on summary judgment, and then the judge ultimately assessed this massive fine, and that is that there was no one that was harmed, that it was just a commercial transaction where both sides finished the transaction happy and satisfied. The bank got their money, the loan was made, and I think the appeals court was very skeptical that this was even in Letitia James as Attorney General's jurisdiction to bring a case like this. And then on top of that, obviously they thought this fine was excessive and way over the top compared to any potential harm that happened.
The case just be completely thrown out or adjusted? I mean, a smaller penalty, whatever.
Yeah, so there was a 5-judge panel, and obviously it's going to be the vote of the majority to decide, because I think there are some judges that felt it was way too much of a fine on the one hand, and then there's some that were just thought the basis in law was not there, and this case should be dismissed. And so I think it's going to be very interesting where 3 of those judges out of the 5 come out on that.
I want to talk about New York City, the mayor, Eric Adams, criminal charges. I'm sure you've read the charges. Would you define this as a strong or weak case?
There you go. Now they're switching to something else. But yeah, that's the story on the fraud case. Sounds like it's getting thrown out. Donald Trump turned down the debate. There's a big announcement. Okay, I'll play you this. There's a big announcement coming out by Tesla tonight about robotaxis. And self-driving cars are definitely like going to be a thing in the future. There are already some robotaxis roaming around different cities. Like Waymo is Google. They have robotaxis in San Francisco, I believe. And I saw Google has been working on autonomous cars for way longer than Elon Musk has even been in the car business. But Elon Musk's big new revenue stream is going to be robotaxis. And he's making an announcement tonight in 2 hours. 2 hours from now, exactly, actually. 7 p.m. Pacific time. He's going to make some kind of announcement about his robotaxis, his self-driving cars. Will you ride in a self-driving robotaxi? Theoretically, it should be safer than riding in a human-driven car. So anyway, here's him talking about it in June. And anyway, he's going to reveal the robotaxi tonight. He's teased it a lot over the years and said it was really close to coming out. But
sometimes people wonder, well, how do you go from this big fleet to actually monetizing the fleet in an autonomous situation? And it's actually a combination of it's like Airbnb and Uber to some degree. So like there'll be some cars that Tesla owns itself. It's kind of like an Uber fashion. But then for the fleet that is owned by our customers, it will be like an Airbnb thing. You can add or subtract your car to the fleet whenever you want. So you can say like, I'm going away for a week. At just one tap on your Tesla app, your car gets added to the fleet and it just makes money for you while you're gone. Yeah. So you can say you can add it to the fleet for a few hours, for a few days, for a few weeks. Whenever you want it back, you can say come back and car will come right back. And I'm highly confident that the revenue made by the owner of the car will far exceed the actual monthly payment. And then Tesla will obviously take a rev share on that. But most of the money will go to the owner of the car. And this is actually going to work. This is what will happen. So mark my words, this is simply a matter of time.
I agree. It's simply a matter of time. The self-driving technology keeps improving, and they've been working on it for a long time. I agree with him. It is only a matter of time. If he gets there first, but I feel like the other self-driving, well, Waymo in particular, is pretty advanced. So I don't know if he's better than Waymo or not. They use way more sensors. I don't know how the Teslas do it without having cameras, because if you look at a Waymo robotaxi, all right, like if you look at a Waymo car, they've got like stuff on the roof. They've got stuff spinning around like crazy. They have all kinds of unsightly cameras on them, which Teslas don't have. And somehow Tesla thinks they can do it. Like this is the latest, I think. Like this thing here on the right, which doesn't look as crazy as like this thing, which looks really crazy. But this is how they have been driving around, with like spinny cameras, big cameras on the fenders. Yeah, I mean, this is how it's been looking. But this looks a little bit better. Waymo finally takes a driver out of its self-driving cars. So he's making a big announcement tonight, momentarily, in a few hours. So we're looking forward to it. We're going to see what that's all about. All right. And there's just this weird video. I have more people saying we should bomb Iran's nuclear facilities. There's this weird video of Gretchen Whitmer, like doing a communion, basically, with a Dorito. I mean, what is this? Is this some podcast or something? No idea. I don't understand it. It's like a Eucharist thing, though. Dorito. and a Harris Walls hat. Don't know. Don't know what it means. Seems crazy. And Gretchen Whitmer just staring at the camera. Thanks, Angel Martin. I got a super chat. I met RFK Jr. via mutual friend in like 05, and he's legit. His introductory small talk with me was a whole lecture on vaccines and conspiracy stuff. Really interesting. How old is he now? Is he in his 70s? He still does pull-ups. That amazes me. He works out hard. I got to figure out how to get that kind of motivation in myself for when I get older, so I don't age so fast. Got to have muscles. Been going for walks though. Walks to the coffee shop, which is about a mile away. So I've been getting my exercise in more than when I was working, so that's good. Get a coffee, get a little treat, little raspberry oat bar. Very good. And then a quad shot latte. I add that to my Red Bulls. I have sugar-free Red Bulls too, sometimes in the morning. All right, guys, I think we did the whole show. I played you everything I had a clip of. So you guys see what's going on. The election, Trump is favored now. And it's just getting worse and worse for Kamala. Just getting worse and worse for her. So make sure to check out our sale. Thanks for the one super chat. I appreciate you, Angel. Thanks for that. I appreciate you. And thanks for anybody. I can check Buy Me a Coffee too, just in case. buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. You can always go there. And yeah, nothing new, but you can drop those anytime. I get an email. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning into the show. Be back tomorrow around 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. All right. Sound good? We'll make a date, me and you. Maybe like the video. Remember to like the video. Go ahead and do that now. Like the video, and then you'll get the notifications better when I go live, and I'll show up higher in your feed and stuff. And then maybe more people will tune into. Maybe we'll turn it into a real show. We'll see. All right, guys. Oh, thanks, Job for 9. See, it's worth it for me to stay live a little bit longer. Thanks to Job for 9 for the $5 super sticker. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. Dave Krieger says, is Nathan not working as a car salesman anymore? That's correct. That's correct. I've gone over it on a previous show. Yeah, I'm not. I was, but I no longer am. I've joined the ranks of the unemployed. So R563, that's the spirit. 100K. Yeah, we'll see. I did have 100K at one point, but it was a different time. I was a different person. Yeah, it was different videos. It was totally different. YouTube was totally different back then. It'll never be the same again. Yeah, I remember though, I would gain thousands of subscribers in a day and stuff from videos, making videos. Yeah, but it's changed since then. Now live streaming is where it's at. More than standalone videos. All right, guys. I'll see you at the next one. Okay. Thanks for the super chats. And for now, remember, check our t-shirt. For now, that's what it is. And